Mac Feegles! Are you ready?
Jean. I am the Dahogrian Emperor, founder, dynastic ruler, original dynastic ruler of the Dahogrian Empire. We are currently at the Terry Pratchett Day 2018, and we're just finished off our event. So, just to introduce the guys to my left and my right. To my right is Emperor Dorito. He is current emperor through conquest. That's a complicated long story, which I lost. But eventually I'll get my throne back and he'll be disposed. To my left is General Gregory, second in command, warlord of the rebels, and in short, my right-hand man. So what Dahoga is essentially a full contact, or a semi-full contact foam padded medieval recreation battle sport. We have our various factions and teams and organize battles fairly along the lines of that. Character building is minimal and mostly based along your perils in war and your various conquests, but in truth, our battles mean our lives are very short. We don't get a lot of development, but gosh is it fun. And we get a lot of skills in. Now the thing is, you can join Dahoga with not being any good at any sort of martial arts or fighting or running or in any sense. Ask Greg here, he used to be terrified of us.
I don't run.
We ran faster than him, cornered him, and he's been brave ever since. And essentially, the only reason you're going to win a battle in Dahoga is you're going to hope you have a half-decent captain, and you're going to hope you have more teammates than the other team. It is good old-fashioned medieval warfare. Oh gosh, how Dahoga started. It starts a long time ago. Wrong story. Essentially, I was really bored at my mother's work one day. And I was trolling around on the internet, and at the time I was quite a Lord of the Rings fan, or still am quite a Lord of the Rings fan. So I Google Lord of the Rings, and scrolling through, and I come across this page that says, "You've watched Lord of the Rings, we live it." And I stumbled across what is called the American version of Dahoga, which is the game in which Dahoga is vaguely based on and bastardized from. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. So I went to my high school friends, like, guys, I got this new game, we should all play. And they thought I was nuts.
Terry Pratchett fair! The Feegles are once again having a wee bit of a passion! We'll be if you're looking for a bit of entertainment, because our effects go through to the Dahogrian Empire stand and watch them Wee Mac Feegles feel a bit of a passion. Go that way. Can't you get left from right?
What? Right.
Right and then right.
Right? What?
Where are you going?
They still think I'm nuts. That hasn't changed. But ever since then, ever since I was about 15, I'm 25 now, I've been building the game up bit by bit. It only really turned into any sort of significance we're looking at about 3-4 years ago, that Dahoga actually sort of lifted off the ground in its limped flight. And now it's starting to turn into a full-fledged sport. Future dream. Picture a horizon. Green with trees. And from one side, to send 500 foam-armed warriors. And from another side, another 500. So that's the sort of the long-term goals. Really, I want to be able to build Dahoga up to a point in which we have several factions based throughout, initially Johannesburg, then Gauteng, then hopefully the country, and have as many large-scale battles as we can. We have a saying with Dahoga, the more the merrier. If we can get a battle in which we can get together many, many different people that wouldn't really be able to meet each other due to distance into large-scale national or provincial battles. That is the goal.
This is special sheep liniment. This thing is what Granny makes us.
Put hair on your chest.
Well, put hair on his feet. This hair. Yes. That's it. This hair.
So, General Dorito, how did you get involved?
It's Emperor Dorito to you. And I got involved actually through one of my friends over here, Gregory. I met him and he introduced me to Dahoga, and ever since then I've loved beating people with foam weaponry. And it only gets better. We have so many people, so many events to go to, so much organizing to do, and it's just amazing. It's fun to get your anger out, to just beat a lot of people. It's really cool. I've learned a lot of strategic battle plans. I've learned a lot of that the ground hurts, especially when you face plant into it. I've learned, that sport is quite cool actually when even though you're not doing something mainstream like soccer or rugby or something too intense, something fun like this with a bunch of friends is really quite cool as well. Yeah.
All right, Gregory.
Yeah.
So you've pretty much been around since the conception of Dahoga.
Yeah.
So tell your story of how you got involved and how things have changed over the years.
Okay, yeah, I can do that. So first of all, hi, I'm Greg. So basically, Dahoga, I started playing Dahoga at about, 10, 11, somewhere around there. I'm now 20, so yeah, shows that you stick around. And it started off initially, I was in Scouts, and I met John, and he said to us, I'll never forget this day, he just walked in and he went, right guys, so I've got this new thing I'd like to try, and it involves a lot of foam and a lot of screens. Because initially they were really big, like almost logs with this tiny little pool noodle around it and clear sellotape. And those hurt, and then they stopped hurting. Yeah, then we started implementing safety measures because we didn't have those to begin with. Yeah, so basically we changed from these beautiful multicolored beating sticks, because that's what they were, to what I like to refer to as the Silver Age, which was when Jean went, guys, I want them to look more like swords. So we went, okay, we'll make them look more like swords. And from the Silver Age, we went back to black because, much like AC/DC, once you go black, you never go back. And then, we started getting more mainstream, went to some festivals, met a lot of people along the way. Our general rule for in conscripting people is, do they look crazy enough to swing a sword above their head while yelling painted blue? And if that ticks yes, you bring them to Dahoga. We've got some really scary players like Jean's sister Tertia and Jean in general. You haven't lived until you've seen a man who's holding a shield that's as big as him run into you and become a spinning top. It's great.
Or if you want to find more out about us or get hold of us or just how to get involved with us, we do currently have a Facebook page up and running called the Dahogrian Empire. You can also find us on YouTube, and you can also find us through the Alter Ego events. Alter Ego is the people who run fairs like this, and we are pretty much at almost every single one of their events that is medieval themed that we can go to. Who can join? Pretty much for our standard battles, we have an age limit of 13 and up. We don't want to squish the little people. And then women, disabled people, everyone who's special and interesting and geeky people and nerdy people and people, martial arts enthusiasts, pretty much absolutely anyone, so long as they're over the age of 13, can join us. And given the event, given this location and event, happy birthday to Sir Terry Pratchett, writer of the Discworld novels.
You can join us!